A lot of times during court proceedings, prosecutors or defenders are trying to define a certain slang word, and they need to refer to a dictionary or some sort of reliable source to come up with the definition of that word. But oftentimes, traditional dictionaries don't have definitions for slang words, so people are increasingly depending on Urban Dictionary, which was something that was created by a college freshman back in 1999. And it's crowdsourced. People come together and they make up the definitions for a particular word, and then it either gets upvoted or downvoted, and depending on how many votes it gets, that ends up being the actual definition for that word.
Right. Now, obviously, people upvote and downvote based on whether that's how they're actually using it. That's one of the reasons they upvote and downvote.
And
right?
also whether or not it's funny. If the definition is funny, it's likely to get more of the upvotes, which means it's not necessarily the most accurate, but since it's the most funny, that's the one that gets the most attention.
Right, and of course sometimes people make up a word like a Santorum, right, that Dan Savage made up, and then people found it rather amusing and received a lot of upvotes in life, right, on the internet. Not just necessarily an Urban Dictionary, and Santorum became a frothy mixture, and you can look it up.
Ugh. Okay. Every time I hear it, it grosses me out.
Right. No, just my point is that if it's an Urban Dictionary, oftentimes people are voting it up because that's how they actually use it.
Yes.
So that's why the crowdsourcing works.
So let me give you some specific examples of Urban Dictionary coming up during court proceedings. Last month, Urban Dictionary was cited in a financial restitution case in Wisconsin where an appeals court was reviewing the term jack because a convicted robber and his companion had referred to themselves as the Jack Boys.
Okay, that sounds kind of dirty. And you know what? I'm actually curious what Urban Dictionary says is a jack boy.
I don't have the exact definition in front of me right now, but to jack someone means to rob someone. Okay. So if you refer to yourself as a jack boy, that means that you are a robber. Except
it doesn't really sound great. Like, robber's supposed to be like a thug, like cool or something. But if you say, I jacked that guy?
I hear that all the time.
That can be taken in a couple of different ways.
Like if I stole your chips, you got jacked.
Right.
You've heard that before.
I know, but if a guy comes up and is like, hey, I'd like to jack you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, fair enough. I get what you mean.
You wouldn't say I'd like to jack you. You'd probably just jack him. But again.
Hello, sir. May I jack you? Okay.
No.
2 weeks earlier, a court in Tennessee noted that a phrase used by a manager at a supply chain logistics company, to nut, was defined by Urban Dictionary as to ejaculate. After weighing that and other evidence, it rejected a motion to dismiss a sexual harassment claim by female employees.
Because if you're talking about nutting, then obviously that could be sexual harassment. That makes sense. I knew that one. But I get why they have to check. Like, first of all, if you're like a 68-year-old judge, you're like, I don't know what to, like, they have no idea what to nut means. Yeah. They don't even know what chin nuts are. Okay.
I don't even know what chin nuts are.
Don't ask. Okay. But also, I mean, it's complicated because you play bust nuts, which isn't anything like nutting.
Right.
So how do they not get confused? Thanks, Scott, for Urban Dictionary.
Absolutely. Just a few other examples that I found amusing. In the last year alone, the website was used by courts to define iron, which is handgun, catfishing, the phenomenon of internet predators that fabricate online identities, dap, the knocking of fists together as a greeting or form of respect, and grenade, the solitary ugly girl always found with a group of hotties.
I don't know if Jersey Shore came up with it, but they certainly popularized it.
They definitely did.
I had not heard it before Jersey Shore, but then they won't stop saying, oh, that's a grenade, dude! Bro, that's a grenade! Look, I am amused and enjoy a lot of these words, but grenade is, I don't know, I get libbed out on that one. I feel...
It's needlessly cruel.
Yeah, it's cruel, especially because Jersey Shore's on TV, and you know that girl's going to see it one day, and you're all calling her grenades. And so it just, I don't know. Like I said, I lib out on it. It turns my stomach a little bit.